I've been with my partner for almost 2 years. And when I met him, I didn't know he was an alcoholic.
Oh, boy.
And he's been rehab and, a couple of stints in detox and stuff, but he has now been sober for 134 days.
Awesome.
And he is working on his sobriety. He's going to AA. He's gone to an AA meeting almost all of those days.
How old are you guys?
I'm 49 and he's 56.
Okay.
So it does seem like he's actually working on sobriety, not just not drinking. So I'm super proud of him for that. But during one of his last benders, he told me that I confuse love with sex, and that's true, probably. But after his last detox...
Whoa. Can I do two things?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you. Whenever I hear something that I just need to hit a pause on, I want to hit a pause on it real quick, okay?
Okay.
Number one, you might confuse love with sex. At times, almost every human on the planet does that. And number two, I put none, zilch stock in what somebody on a bender rips off at me. Okay?
Okay.
So whatever you might confuse love with sex, very common thing, and it might be something relationally to work through, and there might be deep-seated roots, blah, blah, all that might be true. You don't get to lob grenades at me when you're not sober as a way to protect yourself. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. So, keep going.
Okay. So, in his last detox, after that, they put him on Prozac, and it obviously drastically impacted our sex life.
Yeah, just crush your libido, yeah.
And I tried to be okay with it because I'm seeing a lot of really positive changes. I'm seeing, he hasn't missed a day of work in over 4 months now. He is, he was home and present when we were together. He would, cuddle me at night and touch me at night, and we talked all the time. And so I had all these different types of intimacy, but I didn't have the physical intimacy, like the sex part. I mean, he touched me. It wasn't like he didn't touch me, but I had a really hard time with it. And my anxiety flew through the roof. And so he went off his Prozac, and now I'm starting to see that he is less present when he's home.
Okay.
He's still going to AA. He hasn't met with his sponsor in over a month now.
Okay.
When I talked to him about how I was struggling with the lack of sex life we had, he told me, I'll talk to my doctor and stuff like that, and he doesn't really do that when he goes to his doctor.
How do you know?
And so, because we talk about it afterwards, and I'm like, hey, how'd your doctor's appointment go? And he's like, went good. Did you ask your doctor about switching meds or doing something like that? And he goes, no, he doesn't like getting on a second medication to, and I'm like, well, yeah, but we still got this problem. And
okay, hold on. Sex is incredibly important to a relationship, and different people have different libido. All that stuff is navigated in every marriage ever, always, right?
Yeah.
But you have a husband who's been an alcoholic for a long time, who's in treatment, who's also getting help for depression, who's also willing to touch you, and I'm assuming satisfy you sexually except for intercourse. Is that fair or no?
No.
Okay, so he just won't do anything at all.
Before he got sober, I would have said he would have absolutely done that.
Okay.
But no.
Okay. My question is, or I guess my statement is this. This is a guy has been running from demons for a long time. Is that fair?
Very fair.
He's got a lot of physical challenges he's working through his body, both emotionally, but also just physically, right?
Yeah.
So there's got to be a time of compassion and letting him get his feet underneath him.
And that's what I'm trying to do, but I can't seem to. I can't seem to do that.
Okay, tell me about that. Let's take him off the equation. How does 3 months of no sex for somebody who's trying to not die, why does that set off every alarm in your body? Or I don't say why, that's an unfair question, but where does that come from?
My ex-husband, kind of the same thing, our sex life just dwindled to nothing. And so I was, asking for date nights and things like that. And one time I asked him what turns him on. And we were laying in bed and I said, what's one thing that turns you on? And he couldn't really come up with an answer. And so a few minutes later, I went and sat on the couch, and then he came out and was really angry. He hit a lamp and it fell to the ground, and the light bulb shattered all over. And he left for 24 hours. And then when he came home, I got the silent treatment for 3 days. And then when he started talking to me again about the stupid mundane things, kids and grocery lists and things like that, I asked him if we could talk about what happened so we could try to find a way so it didn't happen again. And I just got the silent treatment again. And so...
How long ago was this?
It was 2010.
Okay.
But I never talked to him about sex or anything ever again. I never tried to initiate ever. And we were together for another 12 years. And
so did you go 12 years in basically a sexless marriage, or did you go 12 years in a silent marriage where he got what he wanted whenever he wanted it?
It was emotionally not good, but that was the only physical display of violence that there ever was.
Okay. So can I encourage you to take another track in your current relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's step 1. Ex-husband no longer gets a vote in my current marriage. Period. Okay? And a note, that's easy to say. There's a whole bunch of work to be done there. I recently told somebody on a previous show, if this is something you want to consider, I wouldn't recommend it in a marriage bedroom, but there's something about, I wouldn't put his name on it, but maybe put a brick or a cinder block by your bed so when you open your eyes in the morning, you can see it and you can say, I'm not carrying you around anymore.
Okay.
And leave that for a few weeks. Eventually that thing gets out of your bedroom and it's out. I'm not carrying you around anymore.
Okay.
The second thing is, if you're married to somebody and they're going through a pretty significant health crisis, this is male or female, and they're trying to stay alive, asking them to get off potentially life-saving medication because I have to have sex right now or I get anxious, that's a problem for you and your doctor and your therapist to go talk through. Because every single marriage in the world has seasons of ups and downs and pregnancies and surgeries and grief and cancers and people die. There just has seasons where we're not able to be sexually intimate. And if your body goes into such an anxiety-ridden response, which sounds like there's such a severing of an anxious attachment that just sends your body into like panic, if you will.
Yeah.
Then I want to go sit down with somebody and say, hey, I need to heal some of this old trauma. And I'd be willing to get to bet, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that your relationship with sex and intimacy, the alignment challenges you have, your whole physical and emotional ecosystem around sex started way before your last husband. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. You have childhood crap around sex and abuse and things?
Not abuse, but I grew up in a really religious culture that I know has negatively impacted.
Okay. So here's what I want for you. I want you to have an amazing relationship to yourself and your sexuality and an understanding of what sex means to you and your body and your libido. And it's okay to have an off the chart libido. That's great, wonderful, awesome. And it's great to have conversations with your now husband who's taking medication. It's saying like, hey, you may not be able to get erections during this time. You may not be able to have intercourse with me, but is there other things we can do? Is there other things we can do to be intimate? And you may not, quote unquote, be feeling it, but you also feel this relationship. Like there's all kinds of intermediary conversations. But if he is faced with, I need to save my life or her life, it sounds like he's saying, I'll try to save hers, but it's going to cost it. You get what I'm saying? That's an impossible choice.
Yeah.
And what I don't want is two people who have some demons they need to work through trying to so codependently use each other to stay alive that you both burn to the ground in the process.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
I want you to love sex in your new marriage, and I also want you to champion your husband's health journey, and I want you to be able to see past this isn't forever, but this might be right now. And also, I want your body to not go into full panic mode if you don't have physical intimacy to tell you that you're okay or you're still loved. Because despite his struggles with alcohol and despite his mental health struggles, it sounds like this guy loves you. Is that right?
Yeah, he does.
Does that feel crazy to have a guy love you so much he's willing to get off his meds and just tough it out for you?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, he thinks you're worth it. He thinks you're worth it. I think you're worth it. But I also think he's worth it too. So let me tell you something. You're not crazy for wanting to sleep with your new husband. And I can guarantee you there's millions of men listening to this call thinking, what? You know what I mean? And it's not wise to ask him to 130 days into a new sobriety journey, working with a physician, working with a mental health professional, finally gotten some low-level SSRI that's going to help him. It's unwise to take him off of that immediately if it's helping in all these other areas. And it's not honest as a physician to say, I won't have any other conversations right now. That's a strange approach. Unless the physician says, hey, give it 6 months, give it a minute to get everything stable, and then we'll start tinkering with things to get your libido back. But I want you to believe you're worth being loved outside of the bedroom. You get that?
How do I do that?
You got to sit down with somebody and start being honest. And you've been silent for over a decade or more. Because you learned if you ask even a remotely emotional question, somebody's going to smash a lamp in your face and then not talk to you. Because somebody told you as a little kid, we don't talk about these things. We don't look at these things. We don't even acknowledge these things. And they made you feel crazy for being curious or for wanting to explore or for liking sex. You were told something was wrong with you, and it's just false and wrong. But that kind of healing will come sitting down with a professional therapist. And here's how I think the trajectory will probably go. And if it goes this way, that would be amazing. That you sit down with your husband and you say, hey, I love you to the moon and back, and I'm watching you take these steps to love yourself and to love me. And I'm so proud of you and I'm so grateful. Thank you. I've also realized I've got some sexual trauma in my past, and I'm trying to get you to carry that. And right now you're working on your healing. I'm going to go talk to a professional because I want to get well too. I'm being inspired by you. And that will hopefully lead to y'all ending up together in a marriage counselor's office, negotiating, talking through how y'all are going to be married together. and what sex looks like when he's 56 and he's taking medication and he can't get it up, but he still wants to love you and still wants to give you a good time, and what it looks like for y'all to talk about sex, and what it looks like when he wakes up on a random Tuesday morning and he's ready to go, and how to approach you with it, like all those things. But all of this in your world will start with you believing I'm worth the conversations. All these years, 46 years of squashing who I am and what I'm curious about, what I want to talk about, that was never your fault. Your parents should have talked to you about this stuff. Your abusive ex-husband should have talked to you about stuff. Okay? Do you believe me?
In my head, I do.
Okay, that's good enough. I'll take that. I'm good enough. That's good enough for me. I'm going to hook you up with 3 months for free with my friends at BetterHelp, so you can start talking to someone today or tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
I am super honored to talk to you today, okay?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, hang on the line, and we're going to get you hooked up with some BetterHelp counseling so you can, from the comfort of your own house on Zoom or on screen, you can get to talking to somebody ASAP.